Everyone, I am Giulio Prisco. I'm here to invite you to join the new season of our teleXLR8 program. I'd like to introduce you my friends who are here. Caterina Lam from Oxford and Federico Cindolo from Geneva. Federico does not have a webcam. If he had a webcam, we could also see Federico on one of the other screens. Okay, I'm going to start by introducing teleXLR8. Federico, can I have the next view graph, please? Okay, so teleXLR8 is a remote talk and seminars and conferences program. The problem that we want to solve is that conferences cost money and time, and today we have little money and little time. This presentation is a new version of the presentation that I gave at the conference Transvision 2010 last October, which was also broadcasted by using this remote meeting software. Next slide, please. What is the solution that we want to offer? We want to offer online conferences or mixed reality conferences with some people in real space and some people in virtual space. Everyone can participate independent of geographical location in a fully interactive way, talking to the other participants and asking questions to the speakers, doing all the things that you normally do when you go to a conference. Next slide, please. Hello, Caterina, you still with us? Yes, she is, but you must remember to switch the microphone on if you want to speak. Right.
I'm here.
So you're still enough, you're still with us, you're not sleeping, I'm not too boring, I hope. Okay.
No, it's very interesting.
Great. Okay, so say it.
Yeah, I just wonder, when I stand on the podium, is there any way I can kind of move my camera so that I can also see the slide?
Yes, there is. I'm going to show it later.
We can take that later if you want.
Because we are recording now, and you will be able to watch the video recording anyway. Okay, switch the microphone off again, please. I should explain you guys that Caterina is not wearing headphones, which is a very bad habit, and the fact that she's not wearing headphones creates an echo. So this is always good in a remote like this. Switch your microphone off to avoid creating an echo. But of course you have to remember to switch the microphone on again if you want to speak. Okay, let me go back to this little presentation. There are some disadvantages. Real reality is still more real than virtual reality. This is mediated by technology that some people find difficult to learn, but there are also many advantages. It's almost as immersive as real space, but is much more convenient to use because you can attend anywhere, anytime. It costs money, or it doesn't cost that much money, and very soon virtual reality will be as immersive as real reality. Can I have the next slide, Federico, please? You have a beautiful bookshelf behind you, Caterina. You have many books. I'm buying almost only book in electronic format now. It's also always good to see some real books. Okay, so we call teleXLR8 a telepresence community for cultural acceleration. We offer online a mixed reality talks and workshops. The program is based on a new open source software called OpenQwaq. I'm going to say something more about that later. It is an enterprise-grade, fully immersive virtual collaborative environment with interactive and immersive telepresence technology, integrated video conferencing, document sharing, and collaboration in 3D virtual reality. Can I have the next slide, Federico, please? At the beginning, we have only promoted the teleXLR8 in the small community, Singularity fans. We will also more mainstream science and technology, but we will always have a special interest for very advanced technology and future studies. Next slide, please. We had many very interesting talks in teleXLR8 in 2010. At that time, we were based on a similar platform called TelePlace, which OpenQwaq can be considered as an open source version. We're going to see all that on video later. Next slide, please, Federico. Another few still screenshots. Let's move to the next slide of the presentation. Last year, in November, the virtual reality magazine Hypergrid Business has described teleXLR8 as a TED for virtual worlds. In fact, the very popular technology, engineering and design conference series is our role model. We will feature virtual events with first-class speakers, a world-changing idea, just like TED, using a modern telepresence technology like this for ideas worth spreading. We can also see this as a next generation interactive television network with a participative audience. Federico, you move to the last view graph, and in the meantime, I'll show you a little video with the highlights of the
Okay, so I guess
talks.
it's time
the
for
video
me
will
to
last,
begin.
About 5 minutes.
And
This is Martin Rothblatt.
first, I want to start by thanking Giulio for
talks.
inviting me
Now be silent
to
and let
speak
you
to the
guys
group.
watch the video.
I've received some of the invitations of other speakers, and they are all really amazing people. Last week, Ben Gertzel. So I really do feel very special and honored to be included in the group of speakers.
Also, for many people around the world, the Silicon Valley experience
David
itself
Orban, who gave a
is
presentation
something that is
about
unique
the Singularity
and
University.
cannot be repeated anywhere else in the planet. Breathing, experiencing, sharing, being able to ask questions, going out to parties during the weekend, driving up in half an hour to Google, Facebook, Twitter, the IBM Material Sciences offices, or robotics laboratories. These are all things that are only possible in the Silicon Valley.
So I just want everyone to kind of look at the brain for a while, because this is really
Suzanne,
what people are aspiring to build
Gilbert
when they
will be
talk
the
about
speaker
building thinking
for the
machines.
reopening
So
section
the
of
idea
the
is to
talk.
try and capture the computational power of this very object in a different substrate. So if you just look at this, it's kind of very different from what we normally think about when we consider the phrase computers. So there have been a lot of focus on scanning brains, trying to get the information out of the human brain so that we can process it on our computer systems, and so that we can reconstruct a model of the brain in another substrate, which is usually silicon.
That's the first question then. What do we mean by substrate independence? Why do we even have this new name for what used to be called whole brain emulation and perhaps colloquially mind uploading?
Speaking about
That's really not a very useful term. Well, the problem is, first of all, okay, just to talk about the term for a second, whole brain emulation is a very nice technical term for an approach, an engineering approach, I guess I would call it, to what I will discuss in just one moment. But we needed something to describe what the actual objective is. So not a specific approach, not a specific method, but what is it that we strive to achieve? Substrate independence.
Similarly, of course, Wikipedia seems to be doing a lot of things. And again, interesting things are happening. A very simple mathematical model I did was, imagine that there is a quality of a particular article, and people with random level of expertise arrive, and if they think they're better than the article, they rewrite it, and then it reaches their level of expertise. So my little graph here is a simulation, and quite rapidly it becomes pretty good. Significantly better than the average reader.
Could we take what's in here and live forever in a machine? Okay, so the idea of coded. And what do I mean by the coded brain? Well, hopefully uploading or broken new alignments of information, bodies and subjectivity, and render not by loss but by transformation, basically transcendence. Can we transcend ourselves by taking what we have in here and allowing it to live out there forever?
Can I ask a question? Another question? I hope they're not always too difficult. You talk about decoherence mostly as the enemy. Is decoherence always the enemy? Or is there a way that you have to or can use decoherence?
Suzanne is going to be here.
3 words, can of worms. Okay, decoherence is, well, I was saying that in the gate model, decoherence harms you, and that's kind of almost universally true. I can't really think of a way in which decoherence could help you in the gate model, but in AQC it's a bit more different. It's a bit different.
I really think that it's a reasonable argument that there are parallel universes in one form or another. So it would be saying that our opposite numbers are sitting there. In other words, there's a conference just like this going on in some parallel universe. Only I'm not saying just exactly the same words that I'm saying right now, because there's a certain random process going on there. Anyway, if you had one resurrection attempt involving guesswork like I'm talking about, there would be, let's just say, infinitely many others.
Become a LiveNaut today and start building your FreeMind file at www.livenaut.com. Be a part of one of the most important research projects of our time.
About some very interesting advances in robotics. I think the movie is finished now, offered by TerraSand Films. So let me go back to the normal view. I see that Federico and Caterina are still with us. Yeah, a little bit of time for screen refresh.
But it was difficult to hear your voice when the movie was running.
Yeah, I know that because I was commenting, but anyway, all the videos are on our website, and they are on YouTube and blip.tv and Vimeo. Let me put myself back into first person mode. Okay. So we're going to reopen the 2011 session next week on this OpenQwaq technology that we're using now, which is the open source equivalent of teleplays. For the opening, we're going to have one of the best and most popular speakers last year, and in fact, one of Suzanne's lectures was covered by Slashdot, and we have several tens of thousands of viewers for her videos. To talk about hacked multiverse, and she's going to describe some very interesting advances in computing by the company she works for, called D-Wave Technology. You can see all that on our website. Our main website is teleXLR8.wordpress.com. If you want to follow our work, which you will do, you have all the news on our blog. For example, here is the announcement of the opening talk of Suzanne next week. If you want to stay in touch, there are many things that you can do. For example, you can watch all the sessions recorded on video on the most popular video sharing networks like blip.tv, YouTube, and Vimeo. Or you can join our mailing list. And subscribe. Here is our mailing list on Google Groups. And you can join our group on Facebook, LinkedIn. Now, I really want to thank you guys very much for listening to me all this time, and I want to thank Federico and Caterina for helping this recording.
You are welcome.
Thank you very much, Federico. Did you enjoy that, Caterina?
Okay, yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
And will I get a login now? Like an